Well, we're joined on the show right now by Abigail Bourne, who attended the 2016 Lamplighter Guild, and we just wanted to have her on the show to talk a little bit about her experiences at the Guild and maybe what you might be able to expect if you should decide to attend the Guild in an upcoming year. So, how did you first hear about the Lamplighter Guild?
That's a very good question. I attended the very first Lamplighter Guild, which was 7 years ago now, because this was the 6th Guild this past year. And somebody asked me that same question while I was at Guild this year, and I'm having a difficult time remembering. I don't remember if a friend sent me an email telling me about it, but it's been quite a while that I've been familiar with who Lamplighter is in their ministry.
Can you explain a little bit about what a first-time attendee can expect when they first show up? What is the process like? Do you have to make your selections for your classes before you arrive, or do you do that after you get there? And how does that process work?
Well, it has changed a little bit since I had been there. So at this point, they do recommend that you have an idea of what track you would like to be a part of. They do offer sound design as well as music composition, film, acting, and writing. And if you are wanting to be a part of the acting track, they ask, or they at least give you the opportunity that you could come prepared with some type of monologue that you would like to present to whoever the acting coach is, and he can coach you in that and sort of direct you a little bit. But that's not essential. They do have about a day and a half. You arrive Sunday afternoon, and Sunday evening you are introduced to the different masters who will be teaching throughout the week. You sort of get an idea of what it will be like schedule-wise, just go through a lot of the logistics of things. But then Monday morning, they actually have about 45-minute segments where you go to each one of the classes and you are given a little taste of what will be involved throughout the week. And then Tuesday morning, you officially have to decide which group you would like to be a part of, which master you would like to learn from for that specific week. And then after that point, you are primarily in classes with their specific field. So you do sort of want to have probably an idea, but it is not. Be open, because I actually went for the writing course this year. That was my plan. That's what I had been thinking about. I have a writing project I'm working on this fall, and so it just seemed to make sense. But once I arrived and was praying about it and talking with some of the masters about it, I decided to go ahead and do the acting class part of the Guild. So you never know. God might lead you to a different one than you previously anticipated.
Well, that's great that they give you that little bit of a flexibility. So once you decide, it's not like you can go attend a class in acting on one day and then go to maybe music composition on another day. Once you choose, you're locked into that track.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Can you give us an idea of what the environment of the class was like, and tell us who was teaching the classes that you attended this year, and just kind of how that class would flow on a typical day? Sure.
They do have you stick with one track just because the masters then begin building upon principles. And so they kind of lay a foundation starting Tuesday and continue to build on that throughout the week. So it does help with a continuity as far as learning. So a typical day, you can rise and shine at 5:30 for a community devotional time called Selah that's led by the director of Lamplighter, Mark Hamby, or you can have your own personal devotional time a little later than 5:30. But then you go through your breakfast routine and all of that, and typically classes began around 10 o'clock, 9:30, 10 o'clock. And then you pretty much spent the entire morning in class. And Patrick Powell was the one who was teaching the acting course this year. So he would begin the day with a lot of acting exercises, so sort of wake everybody up, make sure everybody's sort of ready to get to work for that day's events. And he also introduced a lot of interesting exercises and games in this time to sort of help break down some of the walls and barriers that we like to sort of set up because of, either the fear of man, or we tend to be much more closed people, or not wanting to really be vulnerable. And so I think just immediately break down those walls and barriers so that as a group, we were able to communicate well with one another and to really feel the ability to share ideas and thoughts and things like that. So he created a very nurturing environment, I would say. From that point, he would often just sort of, as he taught, he's much more of a hands-on kind of guy. So it wasn't a lot of lecture. He would have us involved in something and be teaching us as we went. So that was pretty much the morning. Then we would break for a little bit of time over lunch, and then we would be back to classes for most of the afternoon. There was a break in the afternoon for tea time, which is sort of a tradition with Lamplighter Guild. More about that if you want to know. But
yeah, sure. Tell us about that. That's a British tradition, right?
Yes, it is. It is. The first 3 guilds, they were at a place called Mohonk, which is what's called a Victorian castle resort in New York. And then I think the 4th guild was spent at the Lamplighter headquarters, and then the 5th guild was back in Mohonk, and then this year was at headquarters again. But anyway, at Mohonk, it's an absolutely stunning Victorian castle, and every day at 4:00 they set out tea and cookies and coffee, and everybody just sort of congregates and takes a break and finds their tea and sits on the veranda and enjoys the view, and life just kind of slows down a little bit for a little while as you all enjoy your tea time and talking with one another, and then everybody goes back to their activities for the day. So Mark Canby really loved this particular tradition, and so he brought it to Guild at headquarters, where every day at 4:00 we would have some time set aside where everybody could break from classes for a time to enjoy cookies and just enjoying, 20 minutes with just a slowed pace, because Guild is intense. Do not go to Guild thinking that you're going to be relaxing in any way, because it's a lot of information, it's a lot of moving and going and pushing yourself throughout the week. So that 20-minute tea time is very nice.
Very cool. I love that.
We all do.
So what are your personal goals, if you wouldn't mind sharing? What are your personal goals pertaining to audio drama, and do you feel that the Lamplighter Guild has put you on the road to achieving those goals?
It's a good question. I'm primarily in stage theater. Those are sort of the doors that God has opened in theater for me personally. I would love to do more with audio drama if given the opportunity. And I guess at this moment, though, it's more of praying towards maybe having those opportunities rather than having specific audio drama goals, if that makes sense. As an actress, my life verse is from Psalm 145, 11 and 12. They shall speak of the glory of your kingdom and talk of your power, to make known to the sons of men your mighty acts and the glory of the majesty of your kingdom. And I think that is primarily my goal. That's what I want to do. And so at this moment, stage acting or stage theater, I'm actually a director for a community theater, seems to be where God has me. But I would love to get more involved in audio drama. And so at this moment, I'm sort of praying through that and praying that He might open some more doors for that. Because at this moment, it just seems where He specifically has me placed. I know that through Guild, there will be so many students who are eager and excited to try out this new art form of audio drama, whether it's they desperately want to work on their sound design skills or their music composition. And so I know there is a plethora of opportunities, I'm sure, that will be started as far as different projects that people will be working on. And so I'm sure for anyone who's looking into or interested in going to Guild, knowing that afterwards there is a definite community, and if you are interested in being more of a voice actor, putting your name out there for your fellow Guild students, so as they're working on projects, they can draw from that. In fact, they have a Facebook page, a Guild Facebook page, so anybody who's attended Guild can be a part of that, and you can put up different projects that you're working on, and if you need an actor for this, or if you need some music for this particular project, you can put all of those, as well as other things. But then they also have contact lists that they'll send around to the guild members with people's personal information. So guilds certainly put you on a plane that with a lot of people who are just learning and just figuring it out themselves, and who are all passionate about doing this for Christ. That's one of the exciting things about guild. One of the great things about going to guild, and one of the hardest things about leaving, is you're just in this hotbed of excitement and passion for using the arts for the Lord and to further His kingdom. And so there's so much encouragement and so much energy there at the guild. And so it can be hard to leave. It's sort of, those mountaintop experiences, and then you come down. So guild certainly can help anyone who's interested in doing more with audio drama as far as teaching and giving opportunity to work with fellow students, as well as potentially, I had absolutely no expectation whatsoever that I would be recording an audio drama while I was there. That was not on my radar. And in fact, I had sort of given that up while I was there, that well, that's not going to happen, and that's okay. There are a lot of other things. So you never know who the Lord will end up having you meet while you're there or work with, and the opportunity He gives you.
Well, Abigail, it's been a pleasure talking with you. I want to thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us and share your experiences, and congratulations on getting that role. That's amazing.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And thank you for asking me. This was really fun to get to share a little bit about Lamplighter Guild and what they do and their desire to point people to Christ, and help encourage those who want to use the arts for Him. So anyway, thank you for allowing me to
Absolutely
ramble on about my thoughts.
No, this has been great.